Hello people, dog lovers. I want to talk a little bit more about dog training. Again, I'm not a dog trainer and I'm not a doctor for dogs, nothing like that. I only share my personal experience. So, think I mentioned that before. After I got my Nyx, as she was almost 1 year old, I took a few hours of private training to learn the basics in how to train a dog properly, because I never really learned that and did all on my own. It worked somewhat and sometimes it didn't work and I didn't really know why, so I wanted to do it right. Maybe you tried that too. So you had training and you do the proper stuff and you see success because you're persistent, you do it over and over again every day. But at some point you think there is no progress. So I want to share my recent experience I had with Nyx, my dog. So I walk my dog every morning and right now in the evening too, because the days get a little cooler earlier. I know how to walk my dog. I learned how to do that the proper way. And she learned it wonderfully. She sits on command, she lays on command, she stays on command. It's like snip and she's down. All super wonderful. When we leave the house, she's right next to me on my right side, how she learned it, on a loose leash. The problem with her is, and I think it's because she's a rescue and never learned to walk, and has been a really anxious dog from the day I brought her home. As soon she realizes we go towards home, she starts pulling. She still listens to the command like that, no problem. And she doesn't pull with all her 60 pounds. So it's not like that. But she just wants to go home. Sometimes it is because she needs to pee and poo, because she doesn't do that on walks unless she can't hold it anymore. But it is kind of frustrating sometimes. So I keep my composure. I'm not frustrated, but sometimes I wondered, does it really work what I'm doing? What am I doing wrong? So if you are in the same position, I want to really share this experience I actually had yesterday with Nyx. Nyx is afraid of car drives, and I tried to get that out of her, but it was kind of difficult. I had her so far that once we are in the garage, she goes to the car and hops in when I open the door. But the challenge is always to get her to the garage. So yesterday, I called her for a walk and she didn't come right away. She was probably suspicious because it was during the day. Eventually she came. She didn't see a scary car key, I guess. I could put the gear on, put the leash on, and I made it in such a smooth and fast way that before she could really think of what's happening, we were in the garage and she hopped in the car. So now we went over to a park nearby. And she was pretty good in the car. She didn't drool like a maniac. She didn't pee or poop or throw up. All was good. And it's just a 5-minute ride. It's not very far. And I go on purpose with the car to get her used to drive the car. Now, until last spring, I went several times with her to that little trail park, nature park area. And she never was quite comfortable there. She walked with me. She did what I asked her to do. But I could tell on her tail and how nervous she was that it wasn't quite the way I would like her to enjoy it. I expected the same thing. To my surprise, that little girl jumped out of the car on the leash, didn't pull, looked around. I could get ready, locked the car, and then we walked over into those preservation area. And there is a long trail that lasts almost an hour when you walk it. So I just went in there. I didn't even plan to go the whole way because I didn't know if she feels okay, if she remembers. But I tell you, she learned something. She didn't pull a single time. She sniffed around, she looked around, and even as she could see the parking lot from far away, she didn't start pulling at all. She walked back with me, and there is a little fountain at the parking lot that's really low for dogs, that they can drink a little water. So I let her drink some water. Then we went back to the car. She hopped in and we drove home. And we spent almost an hour at that place. And she handled that like a rock star. So I'm sharing that with you to show you that your dog might learn something, but just doesn't adjust it to the environment when you do the daily walk in the neighborhood. But try the same thing, change the surrounding, go to another place and see how she behaves there, how your dog behaves there. You might see a difference. Dogs learn as long as you're patient and persistent and do it every day. That's how I taught her to sit on walks. I taught her to sit on the curbside and wait until I give the release command. And that she learned pretty fast. She was kind of a natural. Maybe she had some previous training in that. And if you use a treat at home and teach your dog to sit, you will see that it comes natural to them. If you put the treat above their nose, like that, they sink down into the sitting position. The lay down was a little harder. She didn't really know at first what I wanted from her. She just thought sit and lay down, it's pretty much the same. But within a day or two, she learned it. Once you teach her a first command and she has that down to the T, then the second isn't so hard anymore because you can build on the first experience. And your dog knows you and understands you better, what you want from your dog. So I wanted to really share that with you because I'm so happy that she feels better on her walk, that she feels better in the car. That's progress. She still pulls home in the morning in the neighborhood walk. And I kind of get it now. Why? But essentially when I go somewhere with her, I can do that now without her being so afraid. Soon, last year, or not last year, and last winter and spring, when I went there with her, the first thing she did was having a little diarrhea poop because she was so nervous. First thing, she didn't do that anymore. She didn't poop at all on the whole walk. After we came home, she pooped in the backyard and it was completely normal. So I want to encourage you, if you think your dog didn't learn anything, change the location and see what happens there. If they have to rely on you and you have been doing with them daily a walk or something, then you go to the other environment, they might behave different after a while. So happy me, happy Nyxly. I'm super excited. It made my day yesterday. I hope you think about that if you have some problems with some type of training that you feel your dog just doesn't learn anything. Sometimes it's just a little tweak that reveals that your dog actually did learn something. Have a wonderful week. Until next time. Bye.